everybody, it's Lauren, the teen librarian here at the Scott County Public Library, and I am here today with some more book bites. Today we are filming in a different location. This is inside my office, which some of you may have seen when you come into the library. I am directly across from the teen section, so anytime you guys have a question or you want to say hi, don't ever be afraid to knock on my door and pop your head in. I love seeing you guys. It is so great. So today I am here with some books that I've read recently and one that I read a while ago but has just really been on my mind a lot lately. So let's dive in. The first book I want to talk about is called Foreshadow. And I've mentioned before, I've really gotten into reading the short story collections, the anthologies. And Foreshadow is actually an anthology of short stories written by popular authors like Becky Albertalli, Lori Halls Anderson, Jason Reynolds, and so many more, you guys. And they're all really fascinating. But what's really fascinating about Foreshadow is that they're all designed to speak to an element of writing. So some of you may be involved in the Creative Writing Club, or you may like to just write on your own. And, because I love to write. It's one of my favorite things. I always told myself growing up that I would be an author, and working in a library is pretty close to that. But one thing that I really like about Foreshadow is after each story, there's kind of a little discussion on how, that element was addressed. So character connection or, tone, the voice of the characters. And then they're also followed by a story prompt on how to, build conflict and create dialogue and kind of get your story moving along. So if you're interested at all in writing, I really recommend checking this out and kind of seeing what these short stories create. What kind of feeling did they give you? Some of them I read and I was just like, ooh, that's not really my jam. But some of them I loved and I wanted more of, which is, I think, exactly what a short story should do. But yeah, so this is Foreshadow, stories to celebrate the magic of reading and writing YA. So I really, again, recommend, if you're interested at all in the process of writing, check out this book. It has a lot of great information in it, and it's just really fun to read. All right, so the next one I want to talk about today had me obsessed with it. You can ask any of my coworkers here. I was constantly talking about it, constantly reading it. I'm obsessed. This is Lore by Alexandra Bracken, who also wrote the book, the duology Passenger and Wayfarer. And then I believe she also wrote the Darkest Minds series. So Lore is a standalone book, and it follows the character. I forgot her name. Well, she goes by Lore. She has, I think it's Mela Lore or something is her full name, but she goes by Lore. And the only way I can describe this book is Percy Jackson meets the Hunger Games. It's so intense and it's so good. I'm a big Greek mythology fan, and this book really presents it in a new modern take. So what happened was, at the height, or at the fall, I guess, rather, of the Olympians' power, there was kind of an uprising against Zeus, the king of the gods. And as punishment for that, the gods who were involved in that uprising were banished to the mortal world every 7 years for 7 days, so a full week. And the catch is, that entire week that they're on Earth, they don't have any of their powers. They're not immortal, they're not, healing, they have nothing. But the danger really kicks in because Zeus has promised the heroes, so we're thinking Theseus, we're thinking Perseus, Odysseus, and all of their descendants, that if they find a god and they kill them, whoever kills that god will attain their immortality and their power until, of course, the next 7 years, and then they, of course, are in danger of being killed. So it's really just kind of this high stakes, just what is happening, crazy, crazy adventure. And Lore is our main character. She is 18. I don't remember exactly how old she is. But what's important is after the last ascension, we'll call it, she decided she wanted to walk away from this world. She didn't want to be a part of it anymore because her family was murdered and she was the reason why. So it gets really, there's a lot of character development and a lot of just angst and just it's so good, you guys. I don't even know how to talk about it without giving stuff away, so but it's so good. There's so many relatable characters, and Lore isn't always like a likable character, which I kind of liked. Like, you kind of doubt her actions. You don't always think she's doing the right thing, but you kind of have to trust her because she's been in this world for longer than we have. So, but yeah, I really recommend this. Again, it's like Percy Jackson meets the Hunger Games, and it's awesome. So really recommend. Check this one out. It's so good. You'll read it so quickly, you guys. Okay, and then I am actually currently still reading this book here, but I love it, of course, because I'm a huge Disney nerd. But it's called City of Villains by Estelle Lauer. And this is like if Disney meets Batman's Gotham. So after the fall, all of the magic powers that all of our Disney heroes and the Disney villains have are gone. They don't have these powers anymore. They can't even access them. Some people might have like a tiny couple sparks of magic, but nothing else. And so this is kind of like a city divided between those who used to have magic and those who never did. And so there's kind of this power struggle going back and forth. And our main character is Mary Elizabeth Hart, who is, she's just really determined to become a police officer and a detective and to rise up to being a police chief. Because when she was young, her family was also murdered. I didn't think there was a theme this week, but I think families being murdered might be it. Sorry. But the police chief, the current police chief at the time, I believe, was just a detective, but she, refused to rest basically until this case was solved. And what ends up happening is, of course, she solves it, puts the murderer behind bars, and so Mary feels kind of like this obligation to follow in her footsteps. But people start to go missing. So first it's Mal, who is the daughter of a wealthy, non-magic having citizen, but Mal does seem to have a little bit of magic, but also she's just really, really scary. And if you haven't figured out, she is, of course, Maleficent. So she goes missing, and Mary, our main character, is tasked with finding out what happened, tracking her down. So Mary teams up with another police officer, and they start to work on this case. Mary's kind of keeping secrets. She wants to be the one who solves this. She wants to be the one who, gets to shake the chief's hand at the end. But then more people start to go missing, including Mary's best friend. So this is really, really good. It's a really quick read, honestly. I haven't finished it yet because I was engrossed in another series. But I really recommend this as well if you like Disney, if you like kind of mysteries. This is really fun. And it's not in your face Disney. It's you kind of have to puzzle out who each character is. But some of them are pretty obvious. So again, City of Villains by Estelle Lauer. I recommend this one as well. And then the book that I read a while ago that I wanted to talk to you guys about today is Always Never Yours. And this is by Emily Wibberley. And this follows the story of Megan Harper. She's 17 years old, so she's getting ready to, go to college. She's finishing up her senior year. She just needs kind of one requirement to get into her dream school, and that is an acting credit. But Megan doesn't want to be an actor. She wants to be a director. She wants to be behind the scenes. And she's kind of used to being overlooked. She's what she calls the girl before. So every guy she dates falls madly in love with their perfect match after they date her. So she's always never theirs. So instead of worrying about that and nursing these broken hearts, she just kind of brushes herself off, says, okay, on to the next. And, she focuses on directing theater, going to her dream school. But again, to get to her dream school, she has to have an acting credit, and she wants the smallest role possible. But when her acting teacher, her drama teacher, casts her as Juliet, and yes, I mean that Juliet, her plan is turned completely upside down, and Megan is forced to kind of come to terms with why she allows herself to be pushed to the background in school, on the stage, in her love life, and honestly with her family too. Her mom and dad have separated. Her mom lives in Texas with her new boyfriend. Her dad is happily remarried, and baby number 2 is on the way. So Megan kind of worries that her family is doing what her exes do and moving on with their lives without her. So she's struggling with all of this, and then she meets Owen, who is an aspiring playwright who is inspired by Rosalind, who is, of course, a minor character from Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet. And Megan agrees to help Owen with his play that he's writing because she kind of feels a kinship to Rosalind. She, too, is used to being dumped for this next big flame. So, in exchange for helping Owen with his play, Megan asks him to help her catch the eye of the new stagehand, Will, who she kind of wants to be her next boyfriend. But as they work together and spend more time together, Megan finds herself growing closer to Owen. And then she wonders, what if Owen is her Romeo after all? And of course, we all know that Romeo and Juliet don't really end ideally, but for Megan, we hope that they will, because she's had enough of unhappy endings after all. So this is a really cute read as well. It's, I think really relatable, a lot of character, and a lot of character development as well. So Always Never Yours by Emily Wibberley. It's really cute. Plus, I just love this cover. I love this color and these flowers. It's just super cute. So I really recommend this one as well. And those are the books that I have for you this time, you guys. So thank you so much for tuning in to our Teen Book Bites. And I hope that you will come in and say hi whenever you're able to come into the library. Don't forget, we are still doing our online programs, which you can find at scottpublib.org. Check out our event calendar and also check out our teen services page. So we have all sorts of writing prompts up, all sorts of, links that you all can follow. And if you need anything or you have any questions for me, please email me. My email is lauren@scottpublib.org. All right, guys. See you later. Bye.